Hello, you. It's me. And I'm going to take a slightly different approach today because I know there are a lot of kind hearted people out there who don't appreciate the snark, don't appreciate the laughs. Um, and I get that. I do. I get that. So we're going to take this from a little different approach with Gypsy. Gypsy is, and by the way, this is all my thoughts, my opinions. I am not able to diagnose Gypsy Rose Blanchard, but I can give my opinion about what I think about her. I can say that. So this is all my thoughts, my opinion. I believe that a Gypsy Rose is extremely mentally ill. She is mentally ill in a way that I believe she was born with, due a lot to her microdeletion thing. And there is no real way in our society currently. There's no real therapy. There's no medication that is used for her condition. There's no way to fix it. When you are in a narcissistic, sociopath, psychopath type of frame of mind, which I believe personally she is, there's no fixing it. We currently don't have any medications for that, or any kind of real therapy for that. Mainly because most people that are inflicted with this disability are horrendous to deal with. They're vicious. Now, the sad part is that they are victims. They're victims of their own mind. They can't control it. This, at least in Gypsy's case, like I said, I believe this is how she was born. She doesn't have the ability to grow and to change. She has very strong intellectual disability because she can't develop that part of her brain. It may not exist, depending upon what part. It depends on whether she is narcissistic, a sociopath, or a psychopath, or some could say all three. But that part of the brain that develops and grows and goes beyond the self, she doesn't have that. She's not capable of utilizing that to grow, to change, or to be self-aware, or to be aware of the value of others. She doesn't have that ability. And so, because of this, she becomes a lot more of a sympathetic character. And I don't mean character that's fictional. I mean just a sympathetic human being. Because she doesn't have the ability to change who she is and be a different person. Again, my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions. But having said that, we have to decide, is she safe to be in society? And the answer is no, she doesn't. She's not safe in society. There's nothing we can do to help her to change, to grow, to mature beyond the self. So she will continue to harm people mentally, emotionally, and physically, because that's the only way her brain thinks and processes things. It's only for the self. And if you want to feel sorry for her, perfectly acceptable. perfectly acceptable. She can't help the way she is any more than somebody can't help being born without an arm. It's a disability. But it's a disability that is so dysfunctional that we need to put her where she's safe and cannot harm herself or others. Or in her case, just others. Gypsy would never harm herself because she has visions of grandeur. She thinks she is amazing and perfect. Never mind what she says. It's what she does and how she acts that this is obvious. But she's dangerous to others and needs to be put in a place where she can be taken care of, which honestly she would love, but taken care of and taken out of society so she can't hurt anyone else. Or at least being put in a place out of society so that we can warn society about her type of disability, so that if they do want to communicate with her, talk with her, even be friends with her, they have a better understanding of how to handle her and what she's doing so that they don't get harmed by her in any way. That's what we need to do, in my opinion. People like Gypsy can't help being how they are. And it's okay again if you feel bad for that. They'll never be normal. She will never think normally, do normal things. She'll try to emulate them so that people will perceive her as normal. But that's why she always looks so awkward. Because these aren't natural things that she wants to do. And people see that. They see the facade more clearly now than ever before. And thank God for that. It's a good lesson to learn. To stay away from people like Gypsy, who have her type of mental illness, her type of disability. Because they can harm you so greatly. And again, these types of people who have these mental disabilities, these mental illnesses, need to be in a nice, safe environment away from the public so that they can't hurt anyone. I mean, it just seems logical, doesn't it? When you see somebody with a knife in their hand coming at you, you're not going to just stand there and let them stab you. You know, although unless you freeze up and you can't move, that can happen. But you don't do that on purpose either. You either run away or you stay frozen because you're scared to death. Well, here, if we take Gypsy out of society, she could wield 100 knives, but she will be away from society so that she can't harm anyone. She can throw them. She can stick them in a table. She can do whatever she wants, but she won't hurt anybody else. And it's very unlikely that she would hurt herself unless by accident. So we need to consider this. You know, feel sorry for her if you like. Did she get a bad shake in life? Absolutely. But we still need to protect ourselves and put her away so we can protect her as well, so that no harm comes to her by virtue of other people. That's what we need to do. That's why it is so disconcerting, or so concerning. It's very concerning that so many people, the DA, the lawyers, the judges, It's so concerning that they wouldn't see that and put her someplace safe for herself and for others. All they could see is how much money can we make, and never did very surface thoughts, not going deeper into the psychology of her condition and how dangerous it is. That's what's so disturbing. She is a very sick individual, in my opinion. And to just look around that, because she has a convincing little bitty baby voice that makes her seem so innocent. She's not. She's innocent in the way that she can't control the way her brain functions or is dysfunctional. She can't help that. And in that way, yeah, you could feel sorry for her. But she's dangerous. And all these people, instead of finding justice for Gypsy and for society by putting her away someplace safe, instead of doing that, they let her run amok. They let her harm other people. Now, so far, it's only been mentally and emotionally, which is devastating, by the way, and can cause permanent damage to the individual. That is a different kind of mental illness. It's from the surroundings or just being surrounded by Gypsy. Yeah, she's still hurting people. She hasn't, as far as I'm aware, hurt anyone physically. But, well, except for maybe the baby Aurora. We don't have any proof of that. We've seen circumstantial evidence that shows she could have. And she certainly has the ability to do so because of her disability or a dysfunctional brain. She'd do anything to appear a certain way, for people to feel sorry for her. That's how her brain works, unfortunately. I don't know if this would help change anybody's mind. But having her in society, once again, as I said, in my opinion, is dangerous. And that's why I show concern. I show concern for the baby Aurora. I even feel a little concern for Ken. Certainly concern for her BFF and all her minions, because, as you've seen, she'll hurt them too. She doesn't care. It's all about her. So I can only hope that people will start to acknowledge this and put her somewhere that is safe for her and safe for society. But will they? Why does another heinous crime have to occur before this will happen? That's what bothers me. Can't they see it already? It's really obvious. I'm sure any psychiatrist would be able to point it out quickly and efficiently. It's so blatantly clear. You don't have to have a degree to know that she's ill. In my opinion, she's mentally ill and can't function in society. But what is it going to take for the authorities to realize that? That's the question. Anyway, that's all I got to say.